All right, it's chip of the day. We have an FTDI chip. Future Technology Devices International. The future is here. The future is now. It's an FT232R. You go, oh, 232. I didn't know that number. So it is a USB to UART translation, okay? So you'll find them on these little boards all the time, all right? And these boards have gone through revisions over the years, but the latest ones that I've been buying are this chip. There was some 340 chips and some other chips, and there was some TDI chips that then went TFDI chips that were no longer available, so they went to anyway. This is kind of like the latest version, and I do like these. Okay, this one is USB-C, so it's kind of the latest version. All right, so let's talk about the chip. It's a single chip. It converts USB into asynchronous serial data, other like RS232, a serial interface. So from one serial interface to another serial interface, right? USB to 232. All right. I didn't know this, but it has a EEPROM inside. So these chips are configurable to do different things, and it remembers them. So there's this EEPROM that you can put in there. The EEPROM can also be used as a product identifier. When you plug a USB device into the computer, it looks and it says, oh, I know what that is. I know what driver to use, blah, 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 blah. And you can actually put this chip in your product and then burn the EEPROM to make it say, hey, it's an IMSAI guy DVM, and I know the IMSAI guy driver. I'm going to load that in. So it has that in there as well. It has its own internal clock generator, which is nice. And so it can be configured to translate between 300 baud or 3 megabaud. I didn't know it would go that fast. That's awfully fast. So 300 to 3 megabaud. But it won't do 110. So it won't go very, very slow. 110 is from the oldie days. And then it has a level conversion. So you can use this thing on 5-volt systems or 3.3 volt systems, even 1.8 volt systems. So it does have level conversion in it as well. So it's a pretty powerful chip. All right, let's see here. We can look at the block diagram. A lot going on in this chip. There's a VCC that comes in, and then there's a low dropout voltage regulator. You put in 5 volts, it will regulate it down to 3.3 volts if need be. So it has a 3.3 volt regulator in it, and we'll take a look at that a little later. So the USB comes in here, and it does its thing, and then it says, oh, that's a serial thing, and then it goes into these protocol engines and stuff. It handles the USB talkies and stuff. And then it says, okay, I'm going to convert that into serial thing. And there's a UART controller, and then a UART, and it sends that out serial-wise. Here's the EEPROM. Here's the internal clock generator. It has a 12 megahertz internal generator. It does have external pins. You can put a crystal on it if need be. But it has an internal 12 megahertz oscillator that it gets doubled twice to 48 megahertz. So 4 times clock multiplier to 48 megahertz. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then that 48 megahertz goes into another divider that can go down to whatever baud rate you have, right? It starts at 48 and it divides it down to your particular baud rate of interest. All right, let's take a look more on the data sheet. Comes in this little package here, fine pitch package. And la-da-da-da, let's see. So one of the interesting things is, in addition to things like the serial things, right? Transmit, data set ready, data terminal ready, receive, ring indicator, the TTS, these are all the standard RS232 type commands, and those pins come out. There's also 5 general purpose lines that come out, these configurable buses, C-bus. And so these pins can do various things. They could be inputs or outputs. You can configure them. They come default from the factory to do certain things. One of them controls the transmit LED. One of them is the receive LED. One is a power PWRE. I'm not sure what that does. Let's see. We got TX enable. Yeah. So anyway, sleep. But you can configure those to do other things. So if you're actually using this in a product, you could maybe use those to do different things. And there is a program available from them that you can download and allows you to write to these devices and program that EEPROM. So you can play with that if you want. I'm not going to today. I talked about a 3.3 volt regulator. It can handle up to output up to 50 milliamps. I'm not sure if that's with heatsink or no heatsink, or not quite sure about that. But I'll show you how it's used in the product that I have in my hand here. All right, gotta. Okay, let's take a look at how it's used in a standard configuration here. Right. So I found a schematic for one of these. Let's see, get this all on camera here. For one of these devices here. I found an error on the schematic, and I'm not sure if it's particular to my device or the schematic was drawn wrong, but we'll take a look at that. So the USB connector is here. It comes in. There's a 0 ohm resistor, so you can get rid of the bringing power in on the USB if you want to. That 0 ohm resistor is down over here. But standard it would come with it. And then if you have it plugged into the RS232 or USB, that LED will light up. It is right there. So if we plug it in, indeed we get a nice red LED. That's this one here. Here's the chip. And then there's no other active components on here, all right? There's some LEDs and things, but there's no active components. There's just one chip that does everything, which is nice. Now, there are 2 connectors along the edges here, so if you want to populate those and put it into a proto board or whatever, those are available on this here and this here. But these 6 pins are the ones you always use, and they're here. Now, let me talk about this jumper, okay? There's this jumper here that jumps between a 3 volt system and a 5 volt system, 3.3 and 5. And the schematic had it such that, first of all, let's see what the jumper does. Here's the jumper. The power comes in, all right? And you can either jump it to be 5 volts or 3.3 volts. Now, what does this do? What routing does this take? Okay, so the power comes in, and the schematic is drawn in a bad way. It has 2 names for the same bus signal. It had VCC and +5V. I never like naming one node with 2 different names. That makes no sense at all to me. So I've crossed off VCC and we're just going to use +5, okay? So the +5 comes here. The +5 goes into this chip. So this chip is always powered with that +5 volts from the USB, okay? All right. Then that +5 also goes here, all right? And you can use that. If you have the jumper over here, it goes to power. Where does power go? Well, power goes in here. So this chip actually has 2 VCC lines. It has the VCC for the chip and the VCC for the I/O section. The chip can run on 5 volts and the I/O section can run on 1.8 to 5 volts. So when you have this jumper move to the other side, it is going to take the output. Remember, you bring in 5 volts, it generates its own 3.3. That's here. So it generates 3.3, and that comes over here on this connector. So the power input for the I/O section can either be jumpered to the 5 volts coming in from the USB, or the 3.3, which is generated on this chip. So it uses its own power to go to the I/O section. Okay, and that's the thing that can flop back and forth. Now, on one of these edges, there are pins labeled +3.3 and +5. And those are these 2 here. The 5 volts that comes in and the 3.3 that's generated, though. That's really self-evident. But these 2 connectors were marked VCC, which says that they're 5 volts all the time, according to this schematic. But they're not. They're actually wired to the power, okay? So they can be jumped to 3.3 or to 5. and that comes out here and here. So the pin that's here, okay, when you move this thing back and forth, it can either be 3.3 or it can be 5, all right? And when it's 3.3, it relies on the internal regulator here. When it's 5, it's coming straight from the USB. So, and then this edge along here has a VCC label, and it also is power, right? So, which is configurable either higher, 3.3 or 5. So anyway, so these were drawn wrong. These two things were drawn wrong, and they should be power. Power is here. So power is chosen here. It's used here, and it's used here. And the LEDs are always running on 5 volts. They're probably just like open collector outputs anyway, but the LEDs run on the 5-volt system. And yeah, so there it is. I use these, like I say, I use these all the time. Now, this particular one here, you might have noticed, has an extra little resistor here. It has a 4.7K, actually it's 4.3K, but that's what I had available. A 4.3K resistor hanging on here, all right? And that's because I use it as a UPDI, one-wire programmer. You just have to add this resistor, and then it turns it into a programmer, which is super, super nice. All right, so that's special on mine. I've covered that in another video. If you search my web, search my videos for UPDI, you can learn all about it. All right, that was Chip of the Day, an FT232R.